but you don't look sick. Hello, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Chronic Wellness. I'm your host, Annette Leonard of AnnetteLeonard.com, and I'm grateful you're tuning in. But you don't look sick or you don't look disabled are among the most frequently frustrating comments that we hear from people about the fact that we are sick and we are disabled. And it can be a hard comment to know how to respond to, right? Because no, maybe I don't. And yet I still am. My favorite response to that, by the way, is looks can be deceiving. You can't always see what's happening in my experience based on how I look today, because some days I look really freaking fierce. And I do that oftentimes because I don't feel fierce. So I'm in charge of what I can be in charge of, because there's so much that I cannot be in charge of. So I'm coming at you a week after what was Hidden Disabilities Awareness Week. And I encourage you to not let the fact that this is coming at you a week late to stop you. Don't let that stop you from disclosing to others about your hidden illnesses and your hidden disabilities. Because the purpose of the week, October 15th through 21st, is to raise the public's consciousness. Obviously, for those who are tabs, temporarily able-bodied, if one does not have a first-hand experience of chronic pain, chronic illness, disability, the only way that they can gain awareness is by learning through the experiences of others. And folks, that's us. And I think oftentimes I err on the side of thinking, they've heard it. They're tired of hearing about it. I don't want to complain. And so I keep it to myself. And that's not always the best answer. And so I think these disease awareness months, Invisible Disabilities Awareness Week, should at the very least provide us opportunities in the way of an opening to say to close acquaintances, distant acquaintances, people at the supermarket, the guy who delivers our mail, hey, it's Invisible Disabilities Awareness Week, and I wonder if you know that I have several invisible disabilities, and here's what they are. Or, hey, just wanted you to know it's Invisible Disabilities Awareness Week, and one of the ways my disabilities impacts me is blah. And I think that even for those who know us very well, there are oftentimes things about our experience that people who know us very well are not in touch with. And maybe for someone who has a very visible disability, it's time to start disclosing the invisible aspects of your disability. So maybe you're an amputee, and you should disclose to others the ways in which you now have back pain because it's hard to recalibrate and walk with a steady gait because of your leg amputation. That's just an example. Or perhaps you are someone with hearing loss, and people aren't aware of the fact that now, because of your hearing loss, you also suffer from tinnitus. So these are examples of ways in which you might have very obvious disabilities and hidden disabilities that others don't know about. For me, it's things like, yes, my close friends know that I have chronic migraines, and they might not realize that that means when I go to their houses, even having just like low-grade background music that they think is lovely at dinner erodes my ability to think and participate and engage because I'm trying to screen that out in order to manage the pain I'm in and still participate in engaging in conversation. And so saying things about it. And I think in this culture, we are discouraged from discussing our experiences with disability and illness because it does start to sound like complaining. You know, if you don't have something nice to say, say nothing at all, becomes too overbearing at times. And that is a reason why these awareness days are a godsend. They are an opportunity for us to disclose. And I was on a trip recently with my wife in the car, and I watched two truckers pass one another on the interstate. And they did one of those trucker things of like flash their lights at each other as they passed. And I didn't know if it was like a specific number of times or that they're signaling back and forth meant anything other than just like, hey, trucker buddy, or like, I don't know, because I'm not a trucker and I'm not hip to their signals. But of course I've seen them like signal their lights when they pass one another. And it was such a cool little high sign in group moment that it made me think about hidden disabilities and chronic illness, hidden illnesses and pain, and made me wish that there was like some secret high sign that we could give one another. I mean, obviously there are ribbon campaigns, but shy of that, how would you and I, if we passed one another on the street, know that we shared a hidden disability? We wouldn't. And wouldn't it be cool if we could share a little moment of like, knowing one another when we passed? Because knowing that we are not alone is such a big part of the head game, right? Is part of the sense of isolation that becomes the burden of chronic pain, chronic illness, hidden disability. Is, am I the only one going through this? Has anyone ever felt this way before? Am I a little bit crazy because I'm experiencing this and starting to doubt my own experience because I don't know anyone else who has had this experience? And that very deeply human desire to know that others understand or know what your experience is. And so while sharing my experience with others that I encounter or who I know isn't the same as knowing that others have the same experience with me, it at least provides an opportunity for others to know me better, maybe check in on me better, perhaps include me better, and feel a little less alone. And perhaps is building empathy in others that I share with, is allowing them to know me better, and is helping equip them better for others whom they encounter who may be experiencing some of the same things. So it's very important in these awareness days or weeks or months related to your particular illness, disability, or pain syndrome, that as you're able, whether it's on social media or in person or over the phone or by text, that as you're able, you disclose what you can so that we spread the word, we spread awareness, and perhaps we become a little less isolated or alone in the world. So the next time someone says to you, "But you don't look sick," what might you be invited to say back? What might be the response other than just feeling somewhat squashed or belittled or unseen by the person who's saying it? What might I say back that is, oh, well, that's so interesting because on the inside, here's how I am feeling. Maybe I use it as an opportunity to educate instead of just deflect or retort or feel diminished by. All right, Hidden Disabilities Week. We're a little bit late, but not too late to say something to someone who you mean to bring a little bit closer. I mean to bring you a little bit closer. So like, subscribe, share, comment, find me on socials. And until we're together again, I thank you for watching and be well.